Hey, it's Josh. Unfortunately, I was not here for today's episode, but Aiden Post substituted for me. Unfortunately, we had a lot of echoing for the microphones in today's episode. We couldn't fix any of that, so we apologize for that, and hopefully it doesn't happen again in the future. However, this Thursday, bring all your friends to join me, Jack, and a few special guests for our first ever Game Time live show in partnership with SGA. Join us in watching March Madness, and we'll also be unveiling our first professional athlete guest.
Hello, welcome back to a special episode of Game Time. I'm your host, Jack White, joined by guest host Aiden Post. That's a lot of rhyme. And we have our special guest, athletic director, Mr. Lightsey, here to discuss the new tournament challenge, men's field of 68, and decide who will be cutting down the nets in San Antonio in a couple weeks. So, but first, Aiden, we have some serious business to get to. I don't know how many of you viewers follow Aiden on Twitch or see his Instagram clips, but he did a I Am Music by Playboi Carti reaction. I thought it was a great reaction. Props to you for that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the album was revolutionary in a way. I think that the hype that was surrounding it for the last multiple years, and the fact that no one thought he was ever going to drop it, and the fact that I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning thinking he was going to drop it, just for him to drop it at 7 in the morning as soon as I walk into school. It's pretty disappointing, but I wasn't disappointed when I listened to it, so yeah.
Yeah, this album's got a lot of hate, and I don't understand it. I think some of the songs, maybe there could have been more potential. Maybe some of the songs toward the end got a little bit repetitive, but I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think it was very creative, and it's a sound we haven't really heard before from Carti, and he's kind of distancing himself away from that sound from his self-titled album and Dial It, as well as a whole lot of Red. It's kind of different from those, and I really like that. I think the beats were amazing, production was amazing, and he had some really unique songs on that track list. So, Aiden, give me your top 5.
I'd say number 1 is Rather Lie with The Weeknd. I think that song, just like the chorus with The Weeknd singing and then going into Carti, I think that was great. I think number 2 has to be Evil Jordan, just because the beat drop makes the entire song. Number 3, I'd say Twin Trim with just the song with just Uzi, like Uzi's own song. I think that song was pretty catchy. Then once you get to that, like it starts to dial down a little bit. I say Good Credit's number 4, and then number 5, kind of interchangeable with Good Credit. I feel like is I like Munyon. I like that one, but yeah, that's about it.
So I'll count down from 5. My 5th favorite was We All Need the Vibes with Ty Dolla $ign and Young Thug. I thought that was a great record. Number 4, I had Radar, the Metro produced song. I thought Carti really spazzed on that one. Number 3, I have Trim, specifically because of Future's intro. One of the hardest verses I've ever heard from him. Number 2, Evil Jordan, because that beat drop. And I really like his lyrics for that as well. Number 1, Rather Lie, just a heavenly song all around.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're going to transition to our bracket picks. Actually, got to put it up real quick. I lost it. Do you have yours?
Yeah, I'm putting that up right now.
Which one is it?
You got it?
Picks 1. Right. All right, so how should we do it?
I say we just like go through every single game, like just like fly by like a minute or less.
All right, 5 fair games? All right.
Can we all just agree that the number 1 seeds are going to advance, so we don't have to do that one?
Yeah,
Anybody's going to predict that
Yeah, no.
a 1, 2, or 3 seed, any of the 1, 2, or 3s, I don't have any of the 1, 2, or 3s losing.
In the first round,
I do not have any of them losing.
All right.
No.
So then we can skip that part.
All right, yeah. So we'll get to the 4 and onward.
All right.
Okay, so
Starting in the South region with Louisville versus Creighton.
the South. Is that the South?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I had Creighton win it.
I have Creighton win as well. I don't believe in the ACC.
No.
other than one team. I think the rest are pretenders.
Yeah, I agree. I picked Creighton as well. Michigan and UC San Diego.
I said Michigan, but I think it will be a close game. But I think that Michigan is a more complete team, but I don't see Michigan making it far.
I think UC San Diego will win this game outright, and I think Michigan is on a high right now, but UC San Diego is no joke. They won 30 games this year, and if you saw their reaction, they had a lot of support. I think they're gonna come play.
Yeah, the ESPN writers, most of them picked UC San Diego. Now, I think it's a toss-up. I did have Michigan going forward, but I think UC San Diego's a great chance of winning as well. Next, we have Texas A&M and Yale.
I think Texas A&M, I don't think it's going to be close. I think Yale is an okay basketball team, but Texas A&M, they really get when it comes down to it, they really get the ranked wins, and that's what you really look at. And so that's why I picked them.
Yeah, I think A&M's just too tough. I think Yale's good, and Yale can score the ball. Both teams will score high, I think, in this game, but I do think A&M's tougher.
I had Yale. And I think the Ivy League is well positioned for upsets, like consistently in March Madness, even though it sometimes doesn't always happen. They always play their opponents tight, and I think that Yale gets the job done this time. So I'm advancing. So we have Ole Miss and the winner of San Diego State and North Carolina.
I said UNC is going to win. I think UNC is going to win and then beat Ole Miss right after that. I just think UNC coming off the win against Duke, I think you just ride that hot hand. I think you can do anything. So I don't think Ole Miss is a complete team. I think Ole Miss is all right, but yeah, I just feel like UNC will win.
I think Ole Miss annihilates North Carolina because I think North Carolina is, again, an ACC school that does not belong in the tournament. Ole Miss played a really tough schedule all year long. They've got some quality wins. North Carolina has no quality wins other than they do have one quality win against UCLA on a neutral site. They're not a good team. They're not well coached. I don't think Ole Miss will beat them.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is a better team, but I did pick UNC to win. This is just one of those situations where it's March, and the better team doesn't always win. They do most of the time, but I don't think in this case. So next we have Iowa State and Lipscomb.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
That's easy. Marquette and New Mexico.
It's real close here. I said Marquette, but I don't think they're going to win by much. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a very close game. It could be a toss-up.
I got a toss-up here too, but I'm going to go the other way. Marquette's just so inconsistent. I saw them play against Maryland earlier in the year. I was at the game, and they were awesome, but they have not been awesome since. This seems like a good upset pick here, but who knows? I think it will be close.
Yeah, I had Marquette, but I think it's going to be a toss-up as well. We all picked Michigan State against Bryant.
Yes.
We all picked Duke against. I had American winning, but it doesn't really matter who wins the first four. So next we have in the East region, we have Mississippi State and Baylor.
I picked Baylor. I think, again, a lot of these games are going to be very competitive and toss-ups, but I think Baylor's going to win.
I think it's a close game. They're kind of the same team. They're both long and defensive-minded. I picked Mississippi State, but I can see Baylor winning too.
Yeah, I picked Mississippi State. I do see a first-round exit for Scott Drew and his crew. That was a nice round, by the way. So,
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Next we have Oregon and Liberty.
I just closed mine. Hold on. Picked Oregon. I think that Oregon has shown that they are not to be messed with at times, but at other times they've showed that they can be inconsistent. But I just don't think Liberty can come up to the task of beating a team like Oregon. So I picked Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon's a good tournament team. They always are. I think Liberty can score. but I don't think Oregon, the way they play and the defense they play, they're going to be too tough.
Yeah, Oregon's been a ranked team most of the year, and I've seen them in Big Ten play, being an Ohio State fan, and I've been really impressed with them, so I'll take them. Next we have Arizona and Akron.
Arizona.
I picked Arizona,
Yeah.
but I hate Arizona. I don't think they're a good team. I don't think they should be a 4 seed either.
Yeah,
They are playing better.
I think they're overrated as well, but they get the first round matchup. Next we have BYU and VCU.
I picked BYU. VCU is a sneaky team. It can be a sneaky team, but I just don't think they have played good enough teams to show that. They haven't played enough real competition. So until they showcase that by maybe beating BYU, I just think BYU comes out on top.
Yeah, I got BYU as well. I think BYU can score with anybody, and I think they have the potential to make a run if all things are going well.
Yeah, I had them against VCU. They've been most impressive most of the season. They did lose the blowout to Houston in the Big 12 tournament, but aside from that, they've been really impressive. Next we have, I think we all picked Wisconsin versus Montana.
Yes.
Then St. Mary's versus Vanderbilt.
This one again is a close one. I picked St. Mary's. I don't know too much about either of these teams, but St. Mary's has 28 wins, and Vanderbilt has 20. So that's the only thing I looked at there. I should have done more research on that game, but again, it's a toss-up. So.
Yeah, I picked the other way. Same reason, but I have seen Vandy play. Vandy's got some really good wins. St. Mary's beat Gonzaga a couple of times, I think. But that's it for them. I don't know who else they play. I don't stay up late enough to watch the games.
Yeah.
So I will Vanderbilt.
Those 10-15 Eastern time games over there on the West Coast. Yeah, I think Vanderbilt, they're battle tested, and that's especially important in a tournament like this. I think they get the upset here against St. Mary's. So I had that. We all picked Alabama versus Robert Morris to close out South region. Next we have the West. We all picked Florida versus Norfolk State. Next we have UConn and Oklahoma.
I pick Oklahoma. I think that UConn, they're such, just seeing them always on Sports Center, they're such, what's his name? Dan Hurley, right, the coach? He's so cocky, and I just think they need a snap of reality. I'm taking the upset here from winning it all to being a first-round exit would be hilarious, and I think that is going to happen.
I kind of like Dan Hurley and the way that he coaches. I mean, I like the fact that he's cocky because he's backed it up. He's won 2 in a row. I do think they will get an awakening, but I don't think it'll be by Oklahoma. I like UConn to advance.
Yeah, that was my exact same thought process. I think Hurley, he's the back-to-back NCAA titles is extremely difficult in this tournament style, and to do that, you need to know a thing or two about making it past the first round. And I think he'll do it, but he definitely won't beat Florida. No chance, but he'll get past Oklahoma. Next we have Memphis and Colorado State.
I think this will be a closer game than people think. I pick Colorado State. I think that Memphis, it runs through, I think his name is it PJ Haggerty or something? This guy's averaging like 21 points. It just runs through him. If they can shut him down, Memphis has no help. So I pick Colorado State just because they're more of a well-rounded and complete team. Although Memphis has been more competition, like UConn, for example, but I think Colorado State will come out on top.
I picked Colorado State as well. 5-12, there's always got to be one 5-12 that you pick, and Colorado State comes in really hot.
Yep.
Memphis is banged up, and I know they just won their tournament, so they're even more banged up. But I like Colorado State.
Yeah, same here. I thought there's always going to be those upsets, whether it's a 4-13 or a 5-12, and this is the 5-12 that I like the best, so I picked Colorado State. Next, we have our hometown Terps versus Grand Canyon.
I picked Maryland, but I'm not exactly happy to pick Maryland just because I really don't see Maryland making it that far in this tournament. I think just because of the lack of depth, when they really get into the later parts of the game, you saw it in games against Michigan State, which was a very heartbreaking game. When it gets deep into it, the players are tired, they need their rest, and they cannot compete. These backups cannot compete. And when it gets later into the tournament, you'll see that. So I think they will win, but I think this is the only game they will win.
I like Maryland. That's all. I think Maryland is. I think Maryland one of the. I think they're one of those teams that could easily make a run in the tournament. They've got their 5 starters are as good as anybody's 5.
Yeah, I love Derek Queen. I saw him play for the first time against Michigan, and they should have won that game. That's not for another day. I picked them against Grand Canyon. Next we have Missouri and Drake.
I pick Missouri. Missouri has better wins. I mean, Drake has obviously played teams like Miami, but that's really about it. They're playing teams like Bradley. Like, you really need competition under your belt when you're going into the tournament, and I think that Missouri has more competition under their belt. I think they are a better team overall, well-rounded. I think that Drake runs through 1 or 2 players, and that's it. So I think that Missouri will come out on top.
I agree. I like Missouri. I don't think Drake can score with Missouri. It's a good defense team, but I think Missouri gets through.
Yeah, I think Missouri isn't going to be nice for what here, and Drake absolutely gets shut down. So Missouri makes it. Next we have we all picked that one. Texas and UNC Wilmington. So after that we got Kansas and Arkansas.
I pick Kansas. I mean, both the records are pretty close here. I think Kansas will come out on top. I mean, that's all I can say, really. I don't know much about either of these teams, but I know that they're both similar skill levels, and this is a toss-up here, but I pick Kansas because just of Kansas history in the March Madness bracket.
I picked Arkansas mostly because I want to see Calipari play against Tino, and I don't love Kansas this year. I don't think they're playing well. I just don't think they're the same Kansas team. So I'm gonna pick. I'll pick Tino here. Take Arkansas or Calipari.
Yeah, that was my thought process. I think Coach Cal. Kind of disappointing final years in Kentucky, but for the most part, he brought a championship to them and a legend over there in Lexington. And this Kansas is this team is a far cry from their 2022 title team. I don't think they make it very far, and I think that they do lose to Arkansas here. We all had St. John's against Omaha. Final region, we have the Midwest. Houston beats
Whoever
that is. I don't even know who that is.
And then after that, we have Gonzaga and Georgia, 8-9.
I say Gonzaga wins here. I think, again, this is going to be a close game. Georgia is competitive, but I think Gonzaga has the better wins over teams like Baylor. And they have close losses, too, against teams like UConn, teams that have experience in these tournaments. So I'm going to take Gonzaga here, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I think Georgia has a tougher schedule. But I like Gonzaga as well. I think Gonzaga's playing well right now. They middle of the season, they lost to Oregon State. They had some bad losses in the middle of the season, but they're playing much better.
Yeah, I think Gonzaga, obviously another tournament-tested team. They use that experience to win this one. Clemson versus McNeese, another one of those coveted 5 versus 12 matchups.
I'm picking McNeese. Clemson's a good team, but I think just McNeese in the last week and a half, just the recognition they're getting on social media, as well as the hot hand they're riding.
Oh, their manager.
Yeah. Just the hot hand they're riding here. I feel like McNeese can maybe make it far, or they could be one of the teams where they blow up all over social media and then first round exit cares. I think McNeese is going to ride the hot hand here. I think they're going to win 1 or 2 games, and I think this is going to be one of them.
All right. I do not. I believe that I think Clemson is the tougher of the 2 teams, and I think Clemson's playing very well right now. So they are. I somewhat believe in Clemson as an ACC team. So I got them winning.
Yeah, a fringe ACC contender. I had them against McNeese as well. Next we have Purdue and the mythical High Point.
Purdue's going to win here, but I don't think Purdue is going to make it that far. Purdue's they're okay. They're definitely. I mean, if you're a 4 seed, you're definitely good at basketball. But I would just say that they're going to beat High Point easily, and then they're going to get a reality check by McNeese in the next round, or whoever the winner is. I think McNeese. But if it's Clemson will also give them a reality check, because I do think that Purdue is not good as it seems.
I don't think Purdue should be a 4 seed. I don't like them here. I got High Point beating knocking off Purdue, and I don't think even if Purdue somehow does win this game, I don't think they're consistent enough. I don't think they're playing great. If they do get the win, I don't see them advancing past that conference. So
Yeah, I had High Point as well. I've seen Purdue play in Big Ten play, and a couple home court losses, like to Ohio State, and Ohio State was a very, very average Big Ten team, so they're not consistent. And High Point gives them that reality check, like Aiden wants. Next we have Illinois in the winner, Texas and Xavier.
Illinois. I don't think it's close. I don't even need to talk about it. Illinois is such a complete team, and they're so competitive, and they score so much and so frequently that I do not think the winner of Texas or Xavier would keep up.
I really like Illinois. Illinois has been banged up all year. They're a dangerous 6 seed.
Agreed. I had him win this game as well. No chance. The Texas Xavier could hang with them. We all had Kentucky winning against Troy.
Yep.
And next we have UCLA and Utah State.
I mean, this one I literally just picked right now. This one's a toss-up here. I think UCLA should win, but I would not be shocked if Utah State wins. Again, this is one where either of these teams are not making it past the second round, so I do not really care.
I went the other way, same reason. Why not? I don't think UCLA's really consistent. They're a great defensive team. I don't think they score the ball that well. Utah State does. I always like scores in turn.
I had UCLA. Just it's not that like big powerhouse matchup here. And really, the winner of this isn't going far, so I just picked them. To round out the round of 64, Tennessee versus Wofford. I think we all Tennessee.
I'd say Wofford.
You did?
Yeah, because I think that Wofford dropping 35 points against Duke was really impressive. No, it's not even close. Tennessee will make it to the Final Four.
All right. The round of 32. Now that we've narrowed it down, cut it in half. We have Auburn versus Creighton in the South region.
Does anyone have Creighton?
No, but I think it's going to be a close game.
I do not.
I think Creighton I think they are competitors. I think Auburn will win, but I think it will be within 5.
All right. I got Auburn winning as well. Next one, they're going to have different opponents here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's start with you. Who do you have?
Yeah, so in mine I picked Michigan, so I don't think Michigan's winning here. I think Texas A&M is winning. Michigan, like I said, I've seen Michigan play against. I'm a Rutgers fan, and Rutgers is not too hot this year, but even with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper
Yeah,
out.
2 top 5 draft picks.
Yeah, I know, it's unfortunate. But even with both of them out, Michigan almost lost to us twice. So I think that just shows that Michigan's not really that good of a team.
No, I don't even have Michigan getting past UC San Diego, so they're not they won't be advancing to the Sweet 16. But neither will A&M. I like UC San Diego. They're my big upset. So I'm taking them all the way to the Sweet 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe I should have picked them. I had Michigan versus Yale, and Michigan beats the Scholars of Yale pretty handily. Got lots of eyes. Next, start with Aiden with your
For which one?
matchup.
You have North Carolina and Iowa State.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. Yeah, Iowa State should win here. UNC's the momentum is on here. Iowa State's the better team, and I don't think it's going to be close.
I agree, but I have against Ole Miss, but I think Iowa State. I think Iowa State's too good. Their guard play is really good. Guard play and tournament time is always great. So.
Yeah, it's not official in my bracket, but I'm making an on-air change. I think Iowa State beats. I had UNC going. They beat UNC. UNC's not that great. And finally, I think it was Marquette versus Michigan State. I think we all had that.
Yeah, I had Michigan State.
I have Michigan State. I have Mexico, but I have Michigan State beating.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan State is such a good team. I think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I had Michigan State as well. In the East Side, I'll have Duke versus Mississippi State, I believe.
Yep.
No, I have Duke versus Baylor, but I still think Duke's winning here, so it doesn't even matter.
I think everybody has Duke winning.
Yeah.
Duke as well.
All right.
Oregon versus Arizona.
I have Arizona. I think the play by Caleb Love is elite right now, and I think that Caleb Love is going to single-handedly carry the team to beat Oregon, but I think that's the farthest they make it. It's past this.
You already know how I feel about Arizona. I don't think they are worthy of 4 seed. I like Oregon here. They're a better team.
Yeah, I actually had the same reasoning as you, Aiden. I like Caleb Love a lot, transferred from the Tar Heels, and I think he carries this one, them against this game against Oregon. So next we had BYU versus Wisconsin.
I pick Wisconsin here. I don't think there's really an argument. I mean, BYU is a competitive team, but I don't think they're beating Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin score with BYU and probably have better, superior players, and they're definitely bigger, longer. I like Wisconsin.
That's what common sense should tell you, but there's always one of these games where you just throw common sense out the window, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to use that card. BYU beats Wisconsin in a very close upset.
Okay.
I like it.
So, yeah. And next we had either St. Mary's or Vanderbilt versus Alabama.
I think Bama's winning. I don't think it's close.
I got Bama.
Yeah, I got Bama big too. Down to the West region, we had Florida versus either Oklahoma or UConn.
Florida's going to win. Florida's such a complete team. They're probably going to go all the way.
Yeah, I had Florida as well.
Everybody has Florida.
Yeah. Colorado State or Memphis versus Maryland.
I pick Colorado State over Maryland. I'm just not a fan of Maryland. Just seeing their last second losses multiple times, I just think that they're prone to this at that point, and I just don't see them winning here.
I got Maryland big. The last second losses come against good teams, not Colorado State or Memphis.
Yeah, I had Maryland as well. I don't think it'll be like a big blowout win, but I think it'll be solid enough. I think Maryland's a pretty solid team. Next we had Missouri versus Texas Tech.
I pick Missouri. I'm a big fan of Missouri. They're hot right now. I know a lot of teams coming to the tournament are hot, but they are extremely hot, and I think that they're going to ride this and they're going to beat down Texas Tech. I think that my hot take is they're going to win by 10. Yep.
I will take your hot take and pee on it. Put out your flames. I love Texas Tech here. I think Texas Tech has better coaching and better players, and that all adds up to a big win for Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by Missouri. I think Texas Tech takes this too. Next up, we have Patino versus either Self or Calipari.
St. John's going to win here, Patino. I just think they're just a fun team to watch. I think that just representing Jersey, I think it's neat, and I think that they're going to win here.
I do too. I don't think it'll be close. The two coaches are hoping that it's Cal versus Patino. They don't like each other, but they respect one another. But I think St. John's is actually a really good team.
Yeah, I had St. John's. I think they're a great team to watch. Top 6 in the country in the regular season, so they get that one done. In the Midwest, we had Houston versus Gonzaga.
Houston. No, there's no conversation.
Yeah, Houston as well. Either
we're all over the place in this next game.
Clemson, McNeese versus either Purdue or High Point.
McNeese, whoever they're playing is McNeese. I think McNeese is a funny team. I also think they're a very high-scoring team, and I think that if it's Purdue, I can't wait to see that upset. And if it's High Point, I think they'll wipe the floor with them.
I am picking Clemson here. I think Clemson is the only other ACC team worthy of picking it also. I like them to beat, and of course I picked High Point to beat Purdue, so I have Clemson beating High Point.
High Point is my Cinderella, and I have them beating Clemson after Clemson really gets back on piece. So High Point makes the Sweet 16. Illinois versus Kentucky.
Illinois, again, like I said earlier, they're just a fun team to watch. They're very high scoring, and I think that it's going to be a close game, but I think they're going to beat down Kentucky.
I find it very interesting that you keep bashing Maryland after Maryland took Illinois to task and beat them by, we're up by 35 early in the second half, not less than 3 days ago. But I also agree with you. I do think Illinois is a complete team. I think they're very good. I think Kentucky can score the ball, but I think Illinois can too. I like Illinois.
Yeah, I had Illinois winning this one. There's always going to be a 6 beating 3 on this side of the bracket. And Illinois has all the tools to get this one done. So I have them winning that one. UCLA and Tennessee ran out the round 3 too.
Pick Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Same here. On the south side, we're in the Sweet 16 now. I have actually let's start with Aiden. Yeah.
What is this? Auburn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Auburn.
I have all beating UC San Diego. UC's the Cinderella ends here for me.
And I had Auburn and Michigan. Auburn blows by Michigan easily. And then next we have someone versus Michigan State.
Well, wasn't it Iowa State?
Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State. I think Michigan State's going to win here. I think Michigan State has shown that they are they're a very high scoring team. Just see what they did to Michigan. I think Michigan State, obviously Michigan, I think stinks, so it's different. But I think Michigan State's just a high scoring team. It's going to be a great game, but I think Michigan State comes out on top.
I think Michigan State's got coaching and the toughness to win that game as well.
Yeah, I have them beating Iowa State too. So down to the west, we have Florida versus Maryland.
Well, for me, it's Florida versus Colorado State, but Colorado State, Cinderella story comes to an end here. Florida's going to wipe the floor with them.
I have Florida winning as well. I don't like this matchup, Maryland.
Yeah, I think Maryland is a solid team. They are better than Colorado State, but they're definitely not better than Florida whatsoever. So Florida takes them on. And Texas Tech versus St. John's, maybe one of the matchups of the entire tournament.
I had Missouri versus St. John's, but St. John's is going to win here.
I have Texas Tech beating St. John's. I think Texas Tech is a big threat to Florida as well. And I would not sleep on the Red Raiders.
I had St. John's with a very close game. It's a toss-up. Two pretty even teams, and it could go either way. But I trust Patino on this one. Up to the east side, we have Duke and Arizona.
Duke. Arizona comes to an end here. Caleb Love can't do enough, and Duke's going to win. But this all depends on if Cooper Flag is healthy or not.
Yeah. I got Duke as well. I have against Oregon, but I think Duke wins. I almost picked Oregon here, just because I'm trying to factor in, is Duke going to be healthy or are they not going to be healthy? If they're not healthy, of course, this blows up their whole side of the bracket.
Yeah.
But I'll take them if they are.
We had BYU and Alabama.
Well, mine's Wisconsin, Alabama. Alabama's going to win here. I think that Alabama has shown their competitiveness against Auburn. I think the best team in this entire bracket, close to Florida, obviously. I think Bama's going to win here.
I like Alabama here as well. I think Bama's better than Wisconsin. I know that people are down on Bama right now, but they just beat Auburn. They lost a tough game to whoever they just lost to.
Florida.
But I also think they kind of pulled back some in that game as well.
I actually have BYU taking this one. I think that despite what a lot of the experts say, that the Final Four is going to be very top seed heavy, I think that's a good partially true, but I also think that BYU gets in there. And this is how they do it. Alabama's a great team. They're better than BYU, but it's just one of those things where it's the moments, the atmosphere, and you get by an opponent that maybe you shouldn't have got by. So next we have Houston versus Clemson or High Point.
Or McNeese.
Or McNeese.
Houston's going to win here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think McNeese, I don't know, I just love McNeese, but they'll lose here. I think Houston's obviously.
I think Houston wins.
Yeah.
I got Houston against Clemson. I don't think that will be close.
Yeah, Houston blows the doors off of my favorite Cinderella, High Point, unfortunately. It was a great run for them, and I don't think I've ever seen them in the tournament before, but it will come to an end. And right out the Sweet 16, we have Illinois, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I have Tennessee as well, but again, I love Illinois. I also really do like Tennessee, and I think Barnes is a really good coach. So I do think they'll find a way to win it.
Yeah, I think this is Tennessee's first close game, real close game of the tournament. But they do find a way to win, and they move on to the Elite Eight. So going on to the Elite Eight, I think we have Auburn versus Michigan State first.
Auburn. I think Michigan State, obviously, I'm a big fan of them, but Auburn is, I think, I wouldn't say light years better, but they are a different level. I think Auburn and Florida are on a different level than everyone else, so I pick Auburn here.
I like Auburn as well. I think Michigan State can score, but I do think Michigan State goes through the lulls. You saw that against Wisconsin, and Wisconsin was able to beat them in a game in the 60s, and I think Auburn's better.
Oh, I thought you meant the 1960s.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
No, the 60s.
Yeah. I had Michigan State winning this one, and if this were 2 weeks ago, I would have picked Auburn because at the time, like I was telling everybody, that this is the team to watch when you talk about the national title conversation. But you dropped a couple games since then. Now you're sitting at 4 losses, right? I think Michigan State has the potential to capitalize on what Auburn's SEC opponents were able to do towards the end of the season, and I think they do get it done. So I had them win that one. And then next we have Florida and St. John's.
St. John's.
I have Florida and Texas Tech, and I'm going to take Florida.
I'm taking Florida over Cupertino. It's a close game. Cupertino knows how to put up a fight, but Florida's just that much better.
I'm just taking the momentum here. That's why I'm picking St. John's. I think that everything going on with them, it's all momentum. That's what March Madness is, and I think that they're going to keep riding this momentum and somehow show up in the Final Four. But I think Florida, everyone's picking them as their champion, and obviously the bracket busters have to come eventually. And I think St. John's is going to be a bracket buster, and I think that's what they're going to do.
So next we have Duke versus either Alabama or BYU.
I pick Bama. Duke's a great team, but again, if Cooper Flag's healthy, I still think Bama wins. Just because although he is healthy, he's obviously going through an injury, so he's got to heal up off that. And I think Bama is obviously minus the loss to Florida, which was quite embarrassing. I think Bama will win here.
I like Bama here too. They went to the Final Four last year. They weren't expected to this year. People are kind of down on them towards the end of the year. I would be. They can score with anybody. 15 games over 80 points or whatever this year. I like them a lot.
Yeah, Alabama's known for being a high-scoring team in the past couple of years, but it won't be enough against Duke, who presumably has Cooper Flag. If they don't, there's a whole wrench in this bracket of mine. But I do have Duke in a very close game, make it to the Final Four. To round out the Elite Eight, we have Houston and Tennessee.
This is a really close one, but I think Tennessee. I think Tennessee is a better team, and they're better scorers, and I think Tennessee will come out on top.
I think this is probably this and the St. John's Texas Tech game are going to be two awesome games. And I think normally I would take Tennessee here, but Houston this year doesn't just play good defense; they can also score. Take Houston to beat them.
I think Houston goes up a lot early, but I think Tennessee pulls it out here. And honestly, one of the main reasons is I really don't want to see this many number 1 seeds in the Final Four. It seems improbable based on the history of the Final Four from the past 10 years, which I was looking at prior to the show. And I think Houston has all the tools to beat Tennessee, but I think that's a mutual relationship. Tennessee has all the tools to beat Houston, and I think that's where the game is going to go in that direction this time around. So that brings us to the Final Four in San Antonio. Our first matchup is Michigan State versus Florida, or Auburn versus Florida.
Yeah, or Auburn versus St. John's. St. John's. Unfortunately, the story comes to an end here. Auburn's going to win.
I have Auburn versus Florida, and I think it was spelled out for us just yesterday. I think Florida's the best team in the country, and Florida wins this game.
Yeah, I have Florida over Michigan State. Florida, I mean, I don't even think it'd be like too close. I think Florida is undoubtedly the best team in the country. There's really nothing else you can say about it. And then on the other side, we have Duke and Tennessee. Or
I have Alabama, Houston.
Oh,
I have Alabama, Tennessee. I think Bama's going to win here.
I think Houston is get over the hump, and they're going to get to the championship game. They'll beat Alabama. They'll lock down Alabama. They'll have something for them they haven't seen before defensively, and Alabama will be able to get out and run like they love to do. And I think Houston will beat them.
So that brings us to the final game of this long journey. We have either Florida versus Duke or Florida versus Houston.
Or Auburn versus Alabama.
Iron Bowl and
Yep, I was going for Iron Bowl and Natty. I think there's definitely a little bias into my picks. I think Bama's winning. I think that their matchups, first one wasn't terribly close. The second one, Bama came out on top. I think Bama wins here.
I think that Florida will. I've said Florida is the best team in the country. I think they're the best team in the country. They beat Houston, win the national championship.
Yeah, I think Florida beats Duke to win the national championship. And I think Florida, especially after that SEC tournament run, they've established themselves as the clear title favorites in this year's tournament. So one more question before we wrap up. What's your final score?
For my total points, I put 147. So 77-70. I think it's just going to be a defensive bout in the Natty, whoever it is. All the teams that are in are such high scorers, but I think their defense will come out on top of the Natty, and I think that that's the score I'm going for.
Final score I hadn't thought of. My total points, I'm saying 163.
Ooh.
I think they're gonna score, especially in the second half. I think Florida's gonna get a lead. Houston's going to have to respond. It's going to be a lot of threes in this game. Florida never stops. They're just relentless. They just keep scoring. They'll get 90.
Wow.
Oh, well.
I think Duke really sets the tone early with their defense. Obviously, it won't be enough to win, but 144 total, and I'm thinking 77-67 in favor of Florida in that regard. So this has been Game Time's Tournament Challenge episode. Thank you so much to special guest host Aiden P and athletic director Mr. Lightsey for coming on and sharing your expert picks. We'll see who has the best bracket in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think everybody's got. I mean, there weren't a whole lot of sleeper teams here. We very easily could have 4 SEC teams in the Final Four. The only reason, one of the reasons I picked Houston over Tennessee is I just didn't want 4 SEC teams in the Final Four. And I think Houston is a good team, but it'll be interesting. I do think this tournament's going to go more chalk than tournaments in the past.
Yeah, and I think it's obviously not most fans' desire to see so many top-heavy teams, like 1, 2, 3 seeds in the Final Four, especially not from the same conference. And you would think that the SEC would know that this isn't a football league and try to make this the college football playoff. But they must have been salty after the Big Ten won back-to-back natties, so they're out to get their revenge. So I think that about wraps it up. This has been Game Time with Jack and Josh and Spirit. Guest host Aiden Post and Mr. Lightsey.
Put McNeese in your Sweet 16.